Hello everybody and welcome back to Orange Track Outlaws. Today we are going to be working on our July 3 Blind Mice Challenge, which is this Porsche 917 LH race car. What we got planned here is, for the most part, new paint job and wheel swap. Not really sure exactly how I'm going to go about paint job. I really hadn't figured it out until I started painting it, but we're really just going to kind of wing it. We're going to get this thing taken apart and see what it looks like. Get started. So here's a look at our little Hot Wheels Porsche 917. Found this car here. It's brand new in the pack. Found it in the box of extra cars. Baby blue, plastic base. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start drilling the posts out. Get this thing taken apart like usual. You start with a small drill bit. Get a little pilot hole started. Get your bigger drill bit here. Zip that little that mushroom head off, and this thing should pop apart fairly easy. Pretty simple operation. Basically, same procedure as all the other cars that pretty much everybody takes apart. So get the head zipped off there. Take your little screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and pop them bases off the post, and be able to check out what we got here to work with. Pretty simple car here. Plastic base. Pretty small, pretty basic interior. Probably not going to mess with that too much. Does have a pretty small windshield with the headlights incorporated, and then we have our body. Don't forget, after you take this off, you kind of round those post heads out before you drill them. Makes it easier to go back together. But first thing I'm going to do is hit the Sandblast box. Get all that baby blue paint off there, and get us a nice fresh casting to work with here. Just as I said in my other videos, big fan of the Sandblast box. I think it's easier than messing with paint stripper and goo. Sometimes you need it though. Sometimes they really lay that paint on, and it seems to be a little too much for the blaster. So sometimes you got to use the stripper and then back to the blast box to clean it up. But this usually works. Usually works best for me. So here's a look at our casting after it comes out of the blast box. It's still got that meaty residue on it, but we're gonna go hit it with our wire wheel here and get that thing cleaned up. It really doesn't take a whole lot just to get that residue off. Just hit it with the wire wheel, pretty quick. It'll clean up quite nice. I'm a big fan of using this little cabinet deal here with the plexiglass shield, so them little wires don't fly off the wheel all the time and get you. So I know a lot of people, you can see theirs better, and I know it's kind of difficult to see behind that plexiglass, but it does keep the wire wheels from flying all around me. So I like it. So here's a good look at our casting after we get it cleaned up. It is nice and shiny. There's not a whole lot to do with that thing, since it did look pretty good. But we're going to get paint here in the booth, and we're going to start off with getting rid of this baby blue base. Not a big fan of the same color chassis, same color body. So we're going to hit this thing with a little bit of black paint. We're going to try and get this thing covered up real good. The trick to the black paint is light coat on the first coat. It does if you don't watch it, it may splatter a little bit on the first coat. So if you lay it down real nice, the next couple coats you can get thicker and thicker, and give that paint a little something else to stick to. So we're just gonna take our time, try to get all the fender wells and the little nooks and crannies, hit it, get it all covered up, and get this thing looking good. So I think we're in a good spot here with our base. I think we're gonna hit it with some black one more time, and that ought to cover it up pretty well. I think it's turning out. It's turning out a lot better than a baby blue base. I'm not a big fan of that, as I said, but we're gonna keep on this. On the bottom there is a lot of ridges and whatnot, and so try to get it painted in all the different angles you can, and make sure you get full coverage on it. So as you can see, it does look nice glossy black. So we're going to move on. So we're going to move on to priming our body here. We're going to give this Stynel Res white primer a shot here. It's really not bad stuff, actually. It sprays on nice and thin, and just like pretty much the other primers in the paints, light first coat really helps out, give you something to build on. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to hit this body with some Stynel Res white primer, and then I'm going to go after painting this thing. What I'm looking for here is, I kept trying to figure out how to make this car look fast. And one thing I wanted to do to it is I wanted to try to hit it with some glow in the dark, for some of those night races and whatever. So what I want to do is I want to lay down some pearl white with some hot rod sparkle, and then I'm going to take some of this glow in the dark paint and try to cover it, and try to get this thing to glow in the dark. That's what I'm going to do. So first things first is let's lay down our base coat with our pearl white, with our hot rod sparkle. We're going to put a little 40-30 in there, a little 40-12 to thin it up a little bit, and see if we can't get a nice little hot rod white going on here. That's kind of the idea. I want it to shine and sparkle in the daytime, and I want that thing to glow in the dark and look fast at night. So we're gonna keep putting on another coat of the white, and try to get it nice and even coverage. Try to get that hot rod sparkle kind of all over the place. That's kind of the goal. So it's really kind of hard to see in the cabinet here, but it does look pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. So what we got here, I didn't show spraying of the glow in the dark. That took a ton of coats. It had been 10 coats or so to actually get that thing to glow, but it was working right now. If you turn it off, turn the light off, it'll glow. But what we're going to do here is we're going to take a little pearl red and a little blood red mix, and I want to make I'm going to use a sponge, and I want to try to make I guess somewhat of a fade with the sponge. And I really since I really had no idea what I was going to do for this race car, I thought Porsche's red Porsche is a good classic color, so I wanted it to look red in the front and kind of fade to the glow, but I wanted to see if I could get some of the glow in the dark to show through a little bit. So basically trying out a new technique here. I guess I didn't really know what I was doing, other than I was just gonna dab some of that paint on as best as possible, but I think I had it a little too thin, so it started getting kind of blotchy on there. So I had to kind of clean my sponge and get the red to space out. So what I was going to do is try to go heavy with the red in the front, and get it to slowly fade to the black, or to the back. I'm sorry. The idea was the initial idea was to kind of have it taper down in the middle towards the back into somewhat of a racing stripe, but I kind of changed my mind there, and I wanted it to kind of look like the paint was kind of flaking off because the car is going so fast, if that makes any sense. But what I'm going to do is just dab this paint on heavy in the front, and as I get farther in the back, I was just going to space it out more and more, and I use the other side of the sponge to try to squish out any of the air bubbles and any of the globs that I put on there, because it was so thin. But other than that, that was basically the idea here. So I'm just going to try to work on getting that front heavy red. Really kind of hoping that the pearl comes out, by doing this instead of spraying it. But really have no idea how the red's going to turn out after I put clear on it. But we're going to give it a shot. So as you can see, I'm kind of working my dabs more in the middle, but kind of trying to lighten it up a little bit as I work my way back. And just try to get I guess as even of a fade, if you want to call it a fade. Just try to make it as even as possible. So it's I guess I think it's kind of turning out okay. Honestly, I'm not too sold on it just yet. I don't know if it looks like blood splatter on there or what. I'm sure you guys will have plenty of opinions on how this is turning out, but I think if you wait to the end after it gets some clear on it and I put some new wheels on it, I think it'll be okay. So we're just going to keep on with our sponge, and we're going to keep, I guess you can call it splatter, fading or splatter. But I think I think we're just about where we need to be here. I don't want to do a whole lot more to this. Like I said, it's I did spray a lot of coats of that glow in the dark on the white, so the red's going to cover it up, and I'm really kind of hoping that the glow in the dark comes through, where all the whiter parts are, throughout all the red. Not sure how it's going to turn out, but that was the idea. So I think I pretty much got this the red how I want it to be. I think it's okay. While I was doing it, I guess I'm just gonna follow through with it, put some clear on it, and see how she turns out. So it's wheel swap time. I got these wheels off eBay. Scuderia is the brand. They got a handful of different designs here, and I think they actually look really nice. And I like them because they had the fatter back wheel and the smaller fronts, but they have some cool little racing ones. They come with their own axles, and I guess what's unique about these is they come with a little axle cap. It's tiny, you can see it there. But what you got to do is you got to basically perfectly center that axle on that cap, and the cap is plastic, so you got to be careful. But if you tap that axle in just a little bit, that's what'll keep that wheel on there. So you can see it's tiny, and if you don't get it on there perfect, you will split it. and I guess you can fix that and do some other things. But since these axles and caps are what the wheels came with, I wanted to use them. I want to try them out. I was trying not to put axle tubes in this chassis. These axles will fit right in the stock grooves, so you know, the diameter of the wheels is the same, so I think we'll be alright. So we won't have to use axle tubes. They'll pop in. I'll super glue them in place once I get them where I want them, and I think it will work out just fine. But you know, kind of like putting the axles in with the tubes, you got to get that thing, you got to get them centered just right. And since these axles are going to have to be just a little bit smaller, got to get them where you want them, and mark the axle and cut it before you put the other cap on. But what we're going to do here is give it a little test fit. I just want to make sure that the wheels fit in the space right, and I think it'll work out. So I got my axle tubes cut. I got them stuck in the factory slots. What I'm going to do is super glue these things in now, as usual. Just make sure you double check that the axles are sitting in the grooves and they're sitting in flat. Make sure the wheels are both up against the caps, and then space them out evenly, best you can on both sides, so you know when they roll, the wheels have just a little bit of play in them, and they won't rub on the fender well, and they won't rub on the cap. But I found this Fiber Fix super glue. I want to try this out because what this thing has is a little UV light on the other end. So instead of using the accelerator, you just turn on this UV light for a couple seconds on the super glue, and it hardens it up. And I guess what I like about the UV super glue is it doesn't leave that white residue like the other super glue does when you put the accelerator on, or if you wait for it to dry. It kind of leaves like a white little haze. But my wheel swap seems to be fine. The wheels roll and they fit good. So we are back to final assembly. So as you can see here, I've got my body. I hit that with about 3 coats of 2K clear. I think it turned out pretty good. It does have it does have a little bit of that sparkle to it on the white. I think it looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and put everything together. I didn't do anything with the windshield. It was brand new, and it was still perfectly fine. So we're going to put that in there, back as it was. The interior, it was awful small and awful basic. I just decided not to do anything with it either. You can barely see it as it is. So all we got left here is to snap our chassis into place. Make sure we got a nice tight fit there, and we'll pop our self-tapping screws in, and we're going to call this Porsche done. So as I just finished up putting the screws in, now I want to send a thank you out to the 3 Blind Mice guys for putting all this on. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy seeing all the other results, and I know the other guys like it. So I really appreciate these guys doing it. So now final assembly's done. We're going to take a quick look back on what we started with. We have our baby blue Porsche 917. I guess not a bad looking car. Not one of my favorites personally, but I think it's a pretty cool car overall. I guess I didn't have a whole lot of other ideas other than paint job and wheel swap. So that's kind of what I went with. I wanted mine to look fast, like I said earlier. So here is a look of what we ended up with. We got the pearl white with the with the, I guess, the red splatter fade. Custom racing wheels, black chassis. I think it looks pretty good. I guess it's not one of my favorites, but I think it turned out okay. I hope you guys like it. I guess if you have any comments, throw them down there. Let me know what you guys think about it. And don't forget, this thing's supposed to glow in the dark. So here's a quick look at how that looks. I couldn't get it to spin while it was too dark, but as you can see, it does glow. It looks okay. So you know, back to our finished product here. And once again, I would like to thank the Three Blind Mice guys for putting this on, and thank you guys for watching my channel. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber and you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot.